This video is sponsored by Hungry Minds. On April 6th, the world caught a glimpse of North Korea's next move, and security officials were immediately concerned. Satellite imagery showed a long, obscured silhouette docked at a port on the country's western coast. Camouflage netting kept it hidden from prying eyes. The images reveal a new vessel, larger and even more advanced than any warship North Korea has ever put to sea. Foreign analysts immediately grew concerned. The weapon systems lurking beneath that camouflage could alter the balance of power in the region, or even reach the shores of the United States. While the world struggles to understand how a country starved of resources and crippled by sanctions managed to create a sea monster like this, investigators have begun to suspect North Korea is no longer working alone. A powerful ally provides Kim Jong Un with the technological expertise to match his enemy's power, and this warship could be only the beginning. As we analyze North Korea's advanced naval capabilities, one thing becomes clear. Civilizations rise and fall on their ability to innovate and adapt. The warship we're examining today represents centuries of accumulated knowledge, from metallurgy to radar systems to missile guidance technology. But what if all of that disappeared tomorrow? That's the fascinating premise behind the book, The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding a Civilization by Hungry Minds. And at Dark Tech, we can't get enough of it. This isn't your typical history book. It's a comprehensive survival manual that chronicles humanity's most crucial inventions and discoveries. With over 400 pages, covering 180 topics across 23 chapters, it bridges ancient wisdom with modern innovation. What we really love about this book is its unique hand-drawn engineering illustrations and medieval-style artwork that bring these concepts to life. The project raised over $2.3 million on Kickstarter and became a bestseller, proving the serious demand for this kind of practical knowledge. Whether you're fascinated by military technology, like Kim Jong Un's new frigate, or you're simply curious about how civilizations develop their defensive capabilities, this book provides the foundational knowledge that makes it all possible. It's the perfect gift for anyone with a strategic mindset. Check the link in the description and use promo code DARKMilitaryTech10 for 10% off your order. The Rise of North Korea. For years, the United States has closely monitored North Korea's naval forces. On paper, Pyongyang commands a fearsome fleet, an estimated 400 combat vessels, and around 70 diesel-powered submarines, making it one of the largest undersea armadas in the world. However, most of these ships are outdated, posing little to no threat to the modernized arsenals of the U.S. Navy or South Korea's cutting-edge fleet. But this may not be the case for long. In recent years, Kim Jong Un has accelerated his push to transform the Korean People's Army from a Cold War fossil into a technologically powerful force, developing next-generation weapons set to upgrade the country's naval fleet at a speed that has blindsided many defense analysts and unnerved senior U.S. officials. In early 2025, the North Korean leader personally oversaw the launch of cruise missiles capable of traveling nearly 1,000 miles across the Yellow Sea before striking their intended targets. According to the Korean Central News Agency, this test was meant to, quote, warn enemies who are seriously violating the security environment of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and fostering and escalating the confrontation environment. Those enemies, of course, refer to the United States. In January, just as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken touched down in Seoul for strategic talks, North Korea carried out one of its most worrisome missile tests yet, launching an intermediate-range ballistic missile armed with a hypersonic warhead. The weapon reportedly tore through the atmosphere at 12 times the speed of sound, leaving virtually no time for interception. If confirmed, such velocity would render most conventional missile defenses obsolete, allowing the projectile to evade detection until it's far too late. It was believed North Korea could only deploy this type of missile from static ground-based platforms, until now. Bigger than ever before. Satellite imagery captured by Maxar and Planet Labs unveiled a giant floating in the waters of Nampo Shipyard, located around 37 miles from the capital city of Pyongyang. Many are concerned that this could actually be the largest warship ever built under Kim Jong Un's regime. The images were striking enough to spark immediate scrutiny from defense experts around the world. The ship appears to be a guided missile frigate, possibly equipped to strike both land and sea targets with a variety of advanced weaponry. While exact specifications remain closely guarded, early estimates place its length at roughly 460 feet, only slightly smaller than Germany's Baden-Württemberg class, the longest frigate in service today. However, this is not the first time the world has seen this warship. Footage aired by Korean Central Television in late 2024 had already shown portions of the vessel during its assembly. Back then, it sat in a dry dock as Kim Jong Un personally inspected the shipyard. Now, just months later, the ship is already floating near the port, suggesting that Pyongyang is pushing for this project to move forward as quickly as possible. Analysts reviewing satellite images and state footage estimate that the ship's displacement exceeds 3,000 tons, placing it in a new class of surface combatant never before seen in North Korea's Navy. Even more alarming is what the ship might carry. Close inspection of the ship's superstructure reveals dark design choices. Recessed compartments on the bridge that may house naval guns and vertical launch systems, the same kind used by advanced navies to fire surface-to-air missiles, cruise missiles, or even hypersonic payloads. Additional structural features point to the integration of phased array radar systems, capable of tracking multiple incoming threats simultaneously and with high precision, suggesting that the vessel is not just built for attack, but for survival in high-threat combat environments. If these projected capabilities are accurate, North Korea may soon field one of the most technologically sophisticated warships in the Asia-Pacific theater. Far more than a symbol of national pride, this frigate could become a forward-operating missile platform. It would allow Kim Jong Un's military forces to reduce response times, evade early warning systems, and place the US and its allied forces within striking range. Team effort. Upon examining North Korea's new warship, analysts have noted that the vessel's design bears a striking resemblance to Russia's unfinished Project 20386 corvette, a next-generation stealth warship that's remained in limbo within the Russian Navy. The similarity is too precise to ignore, leading some to believe that North Korean military engineers may not be the sole minds behind this construction. In years past, the United Nations has imposed a series of sanctions on North Korea, aimed at halting its march toward a more dangerous and advanced military. Now, a behind-the-scenes collaboration between Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong Un could be making these UN resolutions meaningless. Since the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the economic isolation that followed, Vladimir Putin has turned to North Korea. It's been stated that Kim Jong Un has supplied Russia with manpower to fuel its war effort. In return, intelligence sources suggest Russia is funneling advanced military technology back across the border. Recently, reports surfaced alleging that Russia helped North Korea develop a fleet of attack drones powered by artificial intelligence. Equipped with arms like this, North Korea could be on track to carry out precise, remote-controlled attacks more efficiently than ever before, compromising high-value military assets without risking manned aircraft. Despite these alarming advancements, some experts remain hopeful that North Korea's strategy is still rooted in psychological warfare, rather than an actual military escalation in the region. Jong Un's struggle. A warship as advanced as the one assembled in North Korea's Nampo shipyard would require elite crews, cutting-edge infrastructure, and costly maintenance, which some experts believe Pyongyang is not equipped to handle, at least not for the moment. Even Kim Jong Un has acknowledged this critical shortfall. During a public inspection, the North Korean leader admitted the country's current naval facilities are inadequate for the next generation of warships, declaring, quote, "Now that we are soon to possess large surface warships and submarines, which cannot be anchored at the existing facilities for mooring warships, the construction of a naval base for running the latest large warships has become a pressing task." No confirmed reports have emerged of North Korea beginning construction on these new naval bases, leaving many wondering where its new warship will be stationed. According to Carl Schuster, a former U.S. Navy captain, despite Pyongyang's urgency, the frigate's construction appears to have hit a technical deadlock, explaining, quote, "This ship's construction is being delayed by the lack of the superstructure, sensor, and weapon systems intended for installation." Some estimates put the initial test of the warship more than a year away, offering the United States and its allies a window to assess the true capabilities of the ship, devise countermeasures, and decipher Pyongyang's long-term goals. Defense experts warn that despite the many obstacles Kim Jong Un's fleet may face, this progress should not be taken lightly. If the country succeeds in fully arming this warship, and especially if it's paired with one of the regime's hypersonic ballistic missiles, the consequences could be devastating, and as Schuster puts it, quote, "It could cause a game-changing impact in regional security." Next up. North Korea's new frigate may be just the beginning. Days before satellite images revealed the massive warship at the Nampo shipyard, state-run propaganda had already begun showing Kim Jong Un inspecting other weapons at additional shipyards. In the images, North Korea's leader can be seen standing beside what was described as a, quote, nuclear-powered strategic guided missile submarine. For years, North Korea has tested submarine-launched ballistic missiles, but these have relied on smaller, outdated diesel-electric submarines, limited in range and firepower. This new vessel, however, appears to be in an entirely different class. Though details remain tightly concealed, estimate its displacement at 6,000 to 7,000 tons, suggesting the submarine could carry up to 10 ballistic missiles, potentially armed with nuclear warheads. If deployed, the submarine could pose an even greater threat to U.S. national security than the new surface frigate. Unlike ships, which can be tracked from orbit, a nuclear-powered submarine slipping beneath the waves becomes a nearly invisible predator, capable of approaching American shores undetected. Such stealth would severely undermine early warning systems and compress the response time for a potential first strike to mere minutes. For now, this new underwater menace remains moored in a North Korean dock, but that won't last forever. These are no longer far-off threats, and while the West seems to still have some time to work on a defense against Kim Jong Un's new weapons, that window is closing fast. A firm salute to Hungry Minds for sponsoring today's video. The Ultimate Guide to Rebuilding a Civilization is essential reading for anyone interested in the technological foundations that make advanced military systems possible. Click on the link in the description and get your copy with 10% off using code DARKMilitaryTech10.